It really does.
My chaos is also the title of the book about my gender.
Yes.
Ah.
Okay, student Dr. Ben is asking.
Yeah, he's gonna do that from time to time. That's all right, though.
We're gonna have to find. We're
What
gonna have to
happened?
find some way for Isla to figure out where things are because she told me like she wasn't gonna bother watching because she doesn't care about us. Apparently.
Oh
No, I was gonna watch this morning when I got up, and then I thought, what if I wait and do it after the show, so that way I know as much as Ruin does, which is, nothing.
Which is fun. This will be an adventure.
That's
I thought it'd be
fair.
fun.
That's fair.
I-
So let's cut to the last time Ruin was there. Grown-up person, this vampire asshole in bat form, wearing a fake mustache still, was outside the penthouse suite outside Ruin's door.
Mhm.
Zermos turned into an owl to fly after that asshole.
Yep.
Yes.
And I decided that Ruin jumped out the window to go get him.
Okay.
Because we have established that Ruin jumps out windows when she is unsure sure what to do. Go ahead and see the
Absolutely.
Delman Street beer flood, everyone. It happened.
That's true.
Canonically.
And that is the kind of impulsive thing she would do. And she did miss. She just got Zermos back. She didn't want to lose him again.
Yep.
Word.
And okay, so she's yelling, Zermos! No! Because she's worried about him.
I was.
Realizes what she has done. And as she is falling, a green tent flap opens up in the air beneath her, and she falls through. Ruin, you are tumbling head over heels, and you fall sideways into the green tent, into the circle, and you slam yourself against the central post. And you see Silent Peter on the tightrope just fall over and then just barely catch it with his feet as he is shaken by you.
Hi, Silent Peter. Thanks for
And
helping
he is
me,
crossing
as
his
you always
arms
do.
and looking at you.
I look very sheepish. It's like, thank you.
And as he is looking at you, you see that the cracks in his face are deepening.
Oh no. Do I need to do something about that?
And you hear a and the central porcelain area of the right side of his face falls out, and he is now holding this part that contains his eye in his hand.
Ugh.
Oh no. Does that hurt? Are you okay? Can I help you? I don't think I have any glue, but I have a bag. Do you want a bag?
He lets himself fall down, and he flips and lands. And he puts the porcelain eye into his pocket.
Can you see without that? Do you need an eye patch?
And he points to the remaining eye on his face.
Gotcha. Are you looking in your pocket? Like, can you see out of your eye, even though it's not in your head?
And he goes, shrugs.
Because I think that would be kind of cool and also weird.
And he points to the inside of his pocket. It's like, I can see the inside of my pocket.
Gotcha. Is that like disorienting? Like, never mind. I'm really sorry.
And he just takes his hand and, does the little motion with it. Like, a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like maybe this is my fault and I should do
And he
something.
nods.
Oh, good. Yay. I love it when I'm right about that.
He nods.
Yay. Can I do anything to fix it, please?
And he points to the hammer.
My
And
hammer?
he points to his face.
Do you want me to hit you in the face?
And he points to the hammer.
Mhm.
And he points to his face.
I gotta pick the hammer up and maybe hand it to him. You would touch it lightly on your face, like really lightly, like
And
the lightest touch ever.
He makes a big fake swinging motion. And he points to the hammer and he points to his face.
Oh, this is very okay. Right. I'll hit you in the face with the hammer. Is that what you want me to do, baby? Okay, I'll do it.
Roll attack.
I'm getting ready, but I want to see if he's like acting like he's okay with that. Really,
He is like, you see, he puts a blindfold in a cigarette. Like he gets a blindfold and he puts a cigarette in his mouth.
Oh my god, this is very high stakes. Okay, I shall hit him in the face with my hammer and roll an attack with my cool dice. So pretty. Oh, okay. So I got a non-natural 20.
Roll damage.
I don't want to be damaging him. This is very unsettling. 12. 12.
It's like going through a porcelain jug. Shards break off and scatter. And you almost see powder forming on the end of the mallet. It's like in slow motion. And his body falls backwards and hits the ground of the ring, of the circus ring, and shatters against it.
Are you like is he just pieces? I'm gonna go try to gather them together. No, what's happening? What is happening?
As you go to gather them, you find a very large grass reed basket on the ground next to them.
Okay. I'll put them in the grass reed basket.
Okay. When you raise your head up from doing so, you find yourself no longer in the green tent.
Where am I?
The air is cold, and you are surrounded by white snow and pine trees covered in a layer of frost.
Does this look, is it like a mountain or a valley or a forest?
You're on.
Give him 1 second. Okay, we got you.
You are uncertain, but as to where it is, you do not know. You are in a forest.
Okay.
It is winter, and you are cold.
Do I still have the basket?
You still have the basket.
With the shattered pieces?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to secure that. Make sure they don't fall out. And then look up at the, sky, sun, whatever, and see if I can figure out like which way north is.
North is a bit of a dubious concept in the Cauldron.
Okay. Well, I want to orient myself in some way and see if I can sense how to get out of this forest, or say smoke or something that would indicate life, or at least
roll
warmth.
Survival.
Doop. I have 0 skills in that, which doesn't seem right, but oh, I got a natural 20.
There is smoke coming from what appears to be a village just down the way.
Okay, I will.
You can tell it's a man-made fire, and it's possibly a charcoal fire, so you know it's civilization.
I shall head towards the smoke. Given that I have 0 idea where I am or what's going on, I'm going to move with as much caution as I can, just in case I'm in an area where it might be an unfriendly type of civilization. I mean, lots of people are civilized but not friendly. You can find out the hard way. So
there are... Well, let me start over. You get to the edge of this village, and it's primitive, you suppose. That's not a word I like to use, but the technology used to make these mud wall huts is very simple. But the inhabitants are all the copies of Silent Peter.
So I'm sort of still in some aspect of the green tent world.
Mhm.
Well, I guess I will. Does it look like there's like a central gathering area, or like not, some sort of like fire or some square where I can bring Peter's remains?
It looks like the Silent Peters have surrounded themselves into two rows, creating a narrow road between them and a central building.
I'll take that hint and walk through that.
They are all looking at you as you go through.
Hi, everybody. Sorry for the destruction of your person.
And they stomp their feet to a rhythm. Just.
Does it feel like a heartbeat kind of thing, like that?
Yes.
I'll kind of walk in like not like marching, but sort of walk in the tune of that rhythm.
All right. You get into this central building they have funneled you into. And it's a grinding wheel, a giant stone grinding wheel. And beside it, a potter's wheel.
Oh boy. Do I need to use this? Are there any of them here, or is it just walking by myself?
It is a dimly lit room. There's a little bit of sunlight coming in from the top, and you are the only being in there.
All right. Well, I'll take the pieces and the basket over to the grinding wheel. Are there other supply, like pottery supplies, like the water and things like that, or just the
Yes.
wheel?
Now, this grinding wheel is large, and it is a stone mounted upon a huge timber, which is in turn placed in another timber that is upon an axle. You're going to have to push this by hand if you want to use it to grind.
Okie dokie. Before I put anything in, I'm gonna see if I can move it.
Roll strength.
Just a straight strength.
Mm-hmm.
17.
You move it. You move it well.
Okay. And it doesn't look like it's catching on anything, or there's any dirt in the wheel or anything like that. I'll have to wash it.
It looks like it is well maintained.
Okay. I'll put some of the pieces kind of on the bottom and try to do just sort of start that process.
In what feels like days, you turn these shards of your god into a fine powder.
I am crying the whole time I'm doing this. I feel very badly about it. Okay. So I'll and then I'm gonna. Can I put them back in the basket, or is there a bowl that I can put them in?
It's sort of a pottery house. You have lots of options as that goes. You have jars.
I want to put them in a bowl that I can put like some of the like water and stuff in to create a clay out of them.
You successfully create grog using these bits of fine powder and water.
Okay.
But do you have any sort of crafting skill?
Do I have a crafting skill? That's a great question. I mean, I do, but I don't know if Ruin does. She focuses on other things. Mm, she's performance and sleight of hand.
You hear the voice of your grandmother and your hand on her shoulder. She goes, "Girl, don't you know? You can't make the whole thing out of grog. You need new clay. Grog strengthens, but it cannot be the whole of the vessel."
Do I see any new clay? And I'll go look for it.
Slabs, whole slabs of this.
Okay. I'll mix in a little bit to start, and see how that goes.
The whole of it. The whole of it, or he will not be whole.
Okay. So I'll just put it all together.
All right. You have clay.
All right.
What are you
I'm
doing?
gonna take it over to the potter's wheel.
All right. How are you forming? What are you forming?
Well, I'm hoping to form a Silent Peter. So I would start with a head. But
Okay, so
probably do
you're
it
going
upside
to
down
use
to,
a
like-
mound of clay to sort of get the rough shape, and then do any sort of offsetting off without moving the wheel.
Yeah, no, just to get the edge,
Roll
like that.
dex.
Okay. That I have good in. Yay! 19.
You craft a clay Silent Peter. And when you go and you put these parts together, because otherwise they'd be too big to handle, the wet clay Silent Peter stands and nods.
I breathe the biggest sigh of relief.
And he
Hello?
makes this hand motion like he's trying to tell you something, just spreading his fingers out from a central point.
Like, cheer? Yay!
And then he sighs and he acts like he does a motion where he's striking a match.
Is there a kiln here? Or
And he nods.
do you want
And he
point
points
towards
to his feet, and he points to the ground outside. And he points to the snow, and he waves his hands like, no.
So do you need a piggyback ride to the kiln? Or is it here? Is it in here?
And he points outside.
Oh boy. So do you wanna get my back? We'll walk.
And
Or-
he looks at you, and he shrugs. Like, I've done less dignified things, but eh.
Gotcha. Well, how about I go find the kiln and then come back and get you?
He nods.
Okay. I'd say be careful, but I've already, I mean, it's fine. I'll go outside. So, hi everybody. Hi Silent Peters. I need a kiln.
They
Hey
all
guys.
look at you.
Like a shh. Woo.
And they point to a whole bunch of bricks, and they point to the clay, and they point to the mud, and they point to the woods.
Do I need to go get wood first?
And they go and they take axes, and they start going to the woods, and they point to the bricks, and they point to the mud, and they point to the clay.
Do I have to build the kiln? I'll go look at it. Is it is it sort of a disassembled kiln or a damaged kiln or just like a
No
set of
kiln.
bricks? No kiln.
Raw materials.
Raw materials. Okay. Well, how
There's
about I
also
take?
straw.
Yes. How about I take those materials into the hut and build the kiln, or build it right outside the door so he doesn't have to walk through the
And
snow?
he looks at you as you bring in the first brick, and he's like,
Well, just put a hole in the ceiling. It's like a chimney. You don't like that idea? I thought you didn't
and
want to walk
he
in the
shakes his
snow.
head no.
I thought you didn't want to walk the snow, so I wanted to make it so you didn't have to. And you didn't want a piggyback ride. You seemed unhappy with that. So
And he taps his foot and crosses his arms.
I know this is what got me in trouble in the first place. I know. I'm okay. I'll go build a kiln outside. Never mind. It's fine.
And he nods.
Got it. Okay. So I go outside and I build the kiln.
Okay. So roll me intelligence.
I think I've already demonstrated where that is. Like, oh my God. I am rolling really well tonight. I like it. 16.
You actually remember your grandmother teaching you how to do this, or showing you how it's done. It's a central room, essentially, made out of rough clay with a trough dug out and a place to bank the fire and to have it pass through so you can get incredible amounts of heat. You basically have to make a floor and walls and then have a door that you can seal with the clay.
Okay. Well,
And
I'll
you
get to
built
work on
this.
that.
And when you get back in after building it, you see that Silent Peter has taken the bit of straw that you brought in when you were bringing in the building materials and made himself a pair of sandals.
Oh, good. Is that more comfortable then?
And he nods.
And I'm glad.
Mhm.
And then do I? They're bringing the wood back, right? And then I'll bank
They're
make the
working
fire.
on the wood.
Okay. I'm really sorry, Silent Peter.
All right. And he goes inside the kiln and he motions to you.
You want me to go inside the kiln?
And he nods.
But that I don't want to.
And he motions for you to come into the kiln.
Okay, I'll go inside the kiln.
And the other Silent Peters begin breaking up the door.
Hey, wait, guys, I don't feel good about that.
And he pats you on the shoulder and he gives you a thumbs up. And he
Okay.
points to you and he gives you a thumbs up.
Okay. Is this like, am I paying for my misdeeds with my life? Is that what we're doing?
He nods.
I'm not-
He does not nod.
Okay.
He shakes his head.
I'm so okay. Sure. All right. I'm here. I'm practicing trust. That's what
When
I'm
you
doing
say,
right
"Am I
now.
paying for my misdeeds?" he starts to nod, and when you say, "With my life," he starts shaking his head. No.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, I would be fair. You paid for my misdeeds with your life, so I guess if I did, that'd be fair too. But I kind of don't want that. Is this gonna hurt?
And he shakes his head.
Okay. All right. Hi guys. Here I am in a kiln.
Okay.
Right here.
And they finish breaking up the doors. And you see them smear the mud on the outside. And you can see the clay on the bottom of the kiln start to dry, but you don't feel hot. And you see over time moisture begins to leave. And Silent Peter sits down after the clay is dry and he won't fuse to it.
That's smart. Have you done this before?
And he nods
Does it hurt?
and he shakes his head.
I'm glad. Does it take a long time?
He shrugs.
Does his clay look like it's turning white again the way it used to, or?
It is drying now. And you see the banking of the clay beneath him is starting to glow from the heat, but you do not feel any harm.
That's pretty magical. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe it's
And
magical.
he reaches behind your ear and pulls out a few bags. Just reaches back and pulls out just these tiny little bags.
I have stuff. That's so cool. I want to learn how to
And
do that.
he hands them to you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna open them.
It's pigment. Various
Ah.
pigments. Dried
Is there a
and
brush?
powdered. He like grabs your hair at the end and grabs another piece and just and puts it into your hand.
That's fair. It's kind of bristly. I'll just have him
Or
be
he
sitting, right?
points to your fingers. It's like,
Yeah, I want to do precision work, silly pants. Hold on. So I get the pigments and I start carefully working on his features.
how are you doing the painting? What are you doing for it?
Well, I'm assuming there's at least black and white for the pigments. But you said there were
There's
3.
black, there's white, there's red, there's yellow, there's blue, there's green, there's purple.
Ooh, well that's fun.
He just looks at you and he goes, just extends his hands out like, you pick.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep the theme of his little like diamond shapes
Mm-hmm.
and
The squares and the rectangles and the diamonds.
but I'll do and mostly black and white, but then with some of the lines in between being
When you
like
start picking out the
purple.
colored lines, he raises his hands and he points to your face paint
Oh, you want to look like this?
and he nods.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do blue.
Oh, you start hearing Revenant and Zermos outside. You swear you hear the mutterings of their voices.
Hey! Well, I gotta focus. Wow, I like that though. So, I'll do purple in between the lines of the black and white, and then I'll do the blue face paint like mine. And that'll be it. It'll be blue and purple and black and white.
Okay. And he takes the black from you and he points to you. And he acts like he's rolling up a sleeve.
Oh, is he gonna paint my face?
He acts like he's rolling up a sleeve and he points to you.
Okay, that's fair. I'll try not to fidget too much. I'm really bad at that.
He acts like he's rolling up a sleeve and he points to you.
I sit down. And it's
He acts like he's rolling up a sleeve and he points to you.
I don't know what that means. I just
He
did
rolls
it.
up your sleeve.
He rolls up my sleeve.
He rolls up your sleeve.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And he begins dipping his finger into the pigment and putting in straight lines at first. And it's a very geometric pattern. It's almost like it's a wraparound line going around your arm,
Okay.
resulting in a diamond pattern in between the lines, in which he places a dot. And as it gets closer to your wrist, the diamonds get smaller, and as it gets closer to your forearm, they get bigger. And they just swirl and get closer together.
That looks really cool. Is it all black and white?
Mm-hmm. All black and white. But the
Pause for
Did we
edit.
lose?
so the colors you picked for his face, he puts as the dots inside the diamonds.
Gotcha. And it's like from here to here, essentially?
From your elbow to your wrist.
Yeah, okay. On both arms or just the left one?
Just the one.
Okay.
And he holds up his hand and he like puts his arm forward really quick and pulls it back.
Like that?
And when you copy the motion, a stake appears in your hand. S-T-A-K-E.
Gosh, you know I was gonna ask. So like a wooden stake, like a beetle would be used with?
Yes.
Okay.
Like a stake for tent pegs, but also look like they'd be pretty convenient for a vampire's heart. And one of the dots close to your wrist disappears.
Ah, okay.
And he closes his hand and opens it up really quick.
All right. I'll do that too.
And the stake disappears and the dot reappears on your arm.
Wait, I'm gonna do that again. So I like this. Wait, which one's the first one? I'm gonna forget now.
Arm forward and back, like almost like you're pumping a shotgun. Yep.
And then woohoo! Wow, that's cool. Thank you.
And the fire is now glowing red hot around you. The walls are so baked that they are liquid. And you hear Revenant and Zarmos' voice outside, muffled. Again, you can't quite make out what they're saying. And you would swear you heard the muffled voice of Fumbles as well.
Oh goodness.
Where is the pine cone?
Yep.
Wait a minute, let me get one.
And Silent
Was
Peter.
it the same dot that went away when I did it practiced?
Yes.
Okay.
And Silent Peter sits down and he pulls out a board game of a chess, but like the pieces are marble so that they won't melt.
Okay.
And he gestures.
I can play chess.
You play chess with Silent Peter, and you get in about 30 games before you hear the downfall of rain. And for what feels like another 20 games, and everything is silent. And you hear the back end of an axe slam through the kiln wall, and the door is pulled free.
Who did it? Was it a Silent Peter or was it Zermos? And
Many Silent Peters are opening the door.
Gotcha. I bet I'm gonna I know you said it wasn't too hot, but I'm gonna appreciate the fresh breeze of air.
Oh yeah, it was stuffy in there. It was like hothouse. All right.
I've been to
you
Sweat
go
Lodge, so
step
I know what that's
outside,
like. It's got to be close to being in a kiln.
And you see Zarmos and Revenant.
Hello, Ruin. He's
Hi,
good.
guys. Oh my
Zarmos,
gosh!
The red one.
roll perception.
All right. 16.
Ruin is now 6'4".
Oh, son of a bitch.
I only
Hey there, little guy. It's good to see ya.
Hello.
And I put him a big hug and whoosh.
You will be carrying me from now on.
Zarmos, your skin is burning when she goes to hug you. She is
Uh-oh.
hot. Holy crap.
Did I hurt?
Excuse me.
Sorry.
You are many degrees warmer than you should be.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know my own strength or apparently my own temperature or my own height. I mean, this is a lot of things.
Perhaps you should roll in the snow.
Is there snow?
No.
Is there snow
I don't
still?
want-
I don't know.
There's snow still.
Yeah,
Except for where Ruin is standing, like it is melting, there is a puddle.
Do they see the Silent Peters or is it just me they see?
They see the Silent Peters.
yeah, there.
I don't know. Silent Peter keeps disappearing on them. Hi, everyone. This is my silent. These are the Silent Peters, and then these are my friends, Ermos and Revenant.
Yeah, I have been made aware of Silent Peter's existence. He did a nasty trick on me with a mirror. I'll tell you later.
Also, we've been helping out the Silent Peters for what feels like days, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear Fumble goes, "Rrrr," and he holds up
Fumbles
3
help-
fingers.
Fumbles helped
3
too.
days?
3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Boy in work.
I'm so glad that you guys are here and that you didn't get hurt by grown-up person. Do you want to see the cool trick I can do now?
Yes.
Shoot.
Watch this.
She has a very impressively made steak in her hand now.
Next time we see grown-up person, I got it.
Funny
well
funny you
about
should
that.
mention that.
Yeah, so basically, when you left, right? Wait, do we have anywhere to be before we tell this story?
Think we're in weird dimensional time. Oh, take a minute.
Yeah, where are we? I don't even know, honestly.
I don't want to ask.
Okay, so basically, Zermas flew out, tried to get Grown-up Person. Grown-up Person dive bombed him towards the ground. Zermas exploded into a bunch of feathers and turned into a giant eagle and dragged him inside. And basically, we fought him for a while. My arm exploded into 2 dog skulls this time instead of 1. That's new, right?
That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
and then I ate him, and now he's dead forever.
Yeah,
you ate grown-up person?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Good job.
Ripped him in half.
Oh, he also tried to steal our benefactor.
Yeah, he tried to steal Monsieur Mortier.
It's rude.
Almost killed him.
Yeah, the god poachers. Also, one of our employees is the father of the leader of the god poachers, which is no longer the leader of the god poachers. So I offered him 2 free lungs to help us find a tablet that Mr. Cathor made that it is actually just now a new tablet that we need to find instead of a fake tablet that we thought it was. Because if you make a new tablet, it's exactly the same as making a new tablet.
Oh, we had some grim news that they were actually mass producing the tablets in a factory.
Are they actually doing that? Is that real?
Yeah, it's in a factory.
Wow, maybe we should go find the factory? Is that the plan?
Yeah, we haven't figured that part out yet, but we definitely are going to go to this library that apparently, I was unaware of this, maybe you knew, has an actual green dragon in it. I thought it was charismatically named the Green Dragon, but there is one.
No, yeah, no, I think that I thought that Professor Zero, I guess head Dean Zero now, told us that there was a green dragon in it.
I thought he was being colorful with his speech.
It's fair.
I don't know why
I take things so literally that I kind of just believed him, so.
I thought surely there wouldn't be an entire green dragon inside of a library. That would be stupid. But
now that you say that out loud, that does make sense.
But unfortunately, that's where we have to go.
To my recollection, it's a really big library, so I don't know.
It's a really big library, so the dragon's just like.
It's not like the Mine Top Public Library, which was like a block and a half, and it only had 2 levels. This is a much larger establishment.
Well, I mean, dragons like to hoard gold. Knowledge is more valuable than gold. It makes sense.
Is Trenchelt, by that definition, a dragon? He's hoarding knowledge, memories.
Yeah.
But funny you should mention it, right? There are Mind Flayer dragons, or there used to be, way back in the day when there were Mind Flayers. Yeah,
that
it's horrible.
Terrifying.
It's fucking horrific.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard today.
Yeah, and I'm glad you established that, because now when I bring one up, it's going to feel natural.
No, the Mind Flayers, including the dragons, are extinct, except for Trenchelt. You said that.
You know, my greatest fear is bunny rabbits.
Bunny rabbit Mind Flayers?
If only death were permanent in this world in a way that, couldn't be circumvented. You're literally friends with a corpse.
Who's
2 corpses.
Who's friends with a corpse? I'm not friends with a corpse.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're friends with 2 corpses.
Yeah.
3, if you count Lady Primrose.
I do count
Yeah.
Lady Primrose. I mean, who doesn't? She's amazing.
She's pretty awesome.
All right, so
So yeah.
wow, that sounds amazing, and like a lot that you guys been up to. So good on you. I've been making up for my crimes against Silent Peter.
Saint Peter.
I had to fix. That's why I'm so warm to the touch. I had to do a thing to make
Expert
up for my
political commentary by Nat One Heroes.
Well, you know, I'm always here for you guys.
Where is Silent Peter? What does he look like?
He's right here. Let me see all the guys right here.
Do we see the new one?
You
Yeah.
have not seen the new one.
Yeah. Where's the one that he asked us to help bring fuel for the fire for the kiln? Which
Yeah,
we did.
do you remember the flaming pine cones on mine top from when Zermos planted his god on my god? We put one of those on the fire.
Ooh. Does that mean I'm like connected to you guys now? Like in a,
Probably.
I have no idea.
like a spiritual
I
way?
just thought it'd be an interesting idea if we did that.
We
Hmm.
saw a fire and we wanted to put the coolest thing in it.
I bet you did. Did it color, like, you know, sometimes you put pine cones on a fire and it makes the flames a different color? Did it do that?
Yeah, it actually did. It changed the fire into part of it was blue, part of it was black and white, and part of it was purple.
That's awesome. I wish I could have seen it. So cool. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. I don't know if there's any food in this village, but if there is, like maybe we could track down some or beer to celebrate.
Oh, worry not, big one. Oh, I guess you would be Big Red now, wouldn't you?
Mm.
And then he hands her a handful of pine nuts.
Oh, you're so sweet. No,
No. You have to get it from the bag of holding, please.
The fuzzy bag of holding.
The fuzzy bag of holding.
What?
You have the bag of holding. You have a.
Oh,
you have
I
a
got
new
my
bag of
own. That's right. I
Yeah.
got my own. Here you are. And he sticks his hand in there. It's very uncomfortable. And then he pulls it out. and
Ruin,
hands
he
to her.
has a fuzzy bag of holding.
That's awesome.
It was a gift.
What kind is it? What color is it?
Pink.
Damn it. Damn it.
Like with black accents, though, right?
Black stitching.
Like cream.
Yeah.
Gross. Thanks. I hate it. But let's see the big man. Where is he?
Silent Peter, come say hi to Zermos and Revenant, please. Does he come out?
Nope.
Where is he still in the kiln?
You can check.
I'm gonna check.
You go in there. You seem to be resistant to heat for some reason.
The kiln has
Right.
cooled down.
I'm gonna go and see if he's in there. Where are the other Silent Peters still around?
Oh, make sure you knock.
The other Silent Peters are gone.
I bet he's gone. They do that. They like poof. So I'm gonna go check the kiln now. Is he in there?
You don't see anything. You see where his sandals were. They're all like blackened.
Hmm. Well,
Well, all
he-
that, and we don't even get to see the final product.
well, I'm sure you will at some point. I try to describe what I
Zermos,
did.
roll perception.
Oh, he's gonna creep up in a 12.
He's right beside you.
Zerma's kind of like, I mean, I waited. Oh my god! Why does
There
he
he
have
is.
to do this?
Sit.
Why does
This
he
is
have to
Silent
do this?
Peter. It's gosh, you look startled. I told you they were
And-
very like stealthy.
Why can't you just walk through a
He-
door and wave?
Holds a very regal staff. And you see that it almost looks like your spear, Zermos. But it is topped with the skull of a dog. Like smaller than you'd think. And he taps the ground, and the entire kiln shatters beneath you, and there is nothing but blackness around you. And you fall.
And then we fell. We
I
did.
fell into a burning ring of fire.
Fire.
Going down,
Down
and the
in
flames went
flames
higher.
fire.
You fall down through this blackness, and you hear a voice go, "Oh shit, what the fuck?" as you land into a bathtub with a naked Candelario Lampwick. What the hell?
How's it going?
Why not?
What the
Hi,
fuck?
naked.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Lampwick. I mean,
Creosote! Creosote!
where's the edge of the bathtub?
Oh dear God! And he's getting out, and he's like grabbing a towel from his butler and like just wrapping it around him and putting on a bathrobe. And he's like, "What the fuck?" Got all those suds in his hair.
To be honest, we did not.
This is a really
choose-
unfortunate angle of you.
What the fuck?
I mean, listen, you don't have anything that we all don't collectively have or have seen together. Calm down. We did not mean to land in your private bath. What? Why do you have so many candles lit?
They're relaxing. This is the last good bath I'm going to get for who knows how long.
Oh, are we in your house?
Yeah, well,
Oh, I was using your bathtub. Yes, you're in my house.
Well, I mean, if you ever
I
wanted
thought maybe
to,
it
ours
was
is
on the
nicer than
I was really
yours.
excited. Maybe there's a bathtub on the ship. I was excited.
There's communal showers on the ship.
you can use our bathtub anytime you like as recompense for you being put out of your relaxing evening.
If you want,
That
if you
does
wanna
not
know-
solve the problem here.
Revenant's like splishing around in the bathtub. So if you want to know how we ended up here, right? Actually,
Let me get clothes on first. And
I
that's
mean, I think
where
we're
we'll take
past
a break.
modesty at this point.
All right.
Taking a break.
It's it break time.
We are on break.
Do Zermos' antlers fall out every season like a deer's?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
I like this actually. No,
actually,
pretty
yeah, that's
cool.
neat.
It's pretty cool.
because I was thinking if we put some like gold leaf tip on the tops and then maybe like a little tiny bit of bling, they would look pretty boss.
Why don't you put some flames on there too and a fucking spoiler? Like, what are you trying to do? Pimp my fucking antlers? Like, what is this?
I
Put
just
some
like,
TVs and put some
I-
scrolls in there for
Isn't
reasons.
Zermos is just like a forest sage. I feel like
But
I don't even- I won't even wear metal.
You guys are talking about freaking gold foil and all this shit. Like Brass Vein changed y'all. Y'all are Nove Riche now.
Oh, we're
I
part of
just
the
think
elites.
it would look super cool. You know?
Well, you know what, Ruin?
Maybe you
I
should
think-
draw flames on him so that he'll run faster.
the only
Right.
thing that's
Put a
changed
spoiler
about
on it.
Revenant is he's become even more homicidal towards like corporate overlords.
Well, more is always good.
So he's a millennial.
Damn it.
He's literally me. No, he's not me. He's far
Um,
from me.
Hmm.
Well, Ruin, if you like them so much, come winter, when these fall out, I will give them to you and you can do whatever you want with them.
Really? I will. Thank you. I will remember that. Oh my gosh, that'll be so fun.
If you just walk through the forest every
Revenant.
winter, they're all over.
Yeah, but I want
Uh,
yours.
Revenant squeaks is in your ear and goes, squeak. To which you understand to mean, I want them.
Scripps, you want the antlers?
Squeak.
Will you settle for
Uh,
one?
Squeak.
Yeah,
All right.
right.
I'll share.
You'll share. Okay, cool.
Of course.
Alright.
Revenant,
Scripps.
you know he wants to just like trim his teeth on them, as rodents do.
Okay. I see.
It's why
I'm writing this down so I don't forget.
Uh,
the forest floor is not in fact covered with deer antlers.
Oh,
It's why the forest floor is not in fact covered with deer antlers.
All
Rodents like them.
Dogs.
I'm going
do
to show you
too.
how cool they'll look, Zermos, and then you'll super want me to decorate them for you.
I'm
Does
sure that will
Scraps'
happen.
teeth still grow? Does he still need to like?
No,
Absolutely.
no, he does not need to do that.
Yes. He has to chew his own bones because his teeth won't
Mwah,
stop.
ah, 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 ah.
So regenerating bones. Oh.
Tons of mice. The one doing the squeaking is Scraps, who is Revenant's skeletal pet rat, who he has had this whole time.
Yikes!
That's
Tons of mice and rats really don't get along. They
It's
unfollowed.
the reason that
They
I
unfollowed each other on
saw-
Instagram.
That's why I saw Revenant in his birthday suit was because of squeakers, Scraps. Sorry,
Mhm.
'Cause I was following him around.
Also, Zermos tried to murk Scraps like in the very beginning of the campaign.
I sure did. Slippery little.
On site,
slip-
literally.
Slippery little fucker.
Yep.
Elaboration. Come over here. Damn it.
So, where do y'all want to pick up from? Do you want to role play your awkward explanation of this to Candelario Lampwick, or do we just want to be back on the ship, assuming you've already had the conversation and no one wants to talk about it anymore?
Well, I feel like
Is there
I
anything we
feel
need to
like
tell
it might-
Lampwick?
I don't think there's anything we really need to tell Candelario because like he was just at the meeting with us, wasn't
Right.
he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can dip. We don't have. We'll just go back to the ship.
All right, y'all are on the ship. Final preparations are underway. You have each been assigned your quarters. Would you like to role play that, or would you like to fill that in later?
What do y'all want to do? I'm always
I mean,
up for a good
obviously,
roleplay.
we've got great rooms, so I don't know. I think we
It
can
is
just
2
reveal
people
them.
to a bunk room, or 9 people to a bunk room.
Two.
The people beneath y'all, like who are grunts and underlings, get 9 people to a bunk room. Y'all get 2 people to a bunk room.
So who's bunking with who?
I feel like am I sharing a bunk with Rangel?
Do you feel like that would make sense? Do you want that?
Well, I mean, he's my second in command, right?
Yeah.
I mean, out of everyone in the party who would be with Rangel, who would be? Because Ruin brought him back to his body.
I mean, we're buddies, but I don't think it'd be super wise for Ruin to camp with him because he might get the wrong idea.
Yeah.
He's like, he. I mean, she's circusy, so she's pretty chill about that kind of stuff, but she's not stupid. she's just like if I say, hey, Ringo, let's bunk together, he's gonna think it means something else.
True, plus he has mirrors on
But
his
he will
ceiling.
get clarification.
And
before
there's
he makes a
mirrors.
move.
Yeah, it just feels awkward.
Alright,
I think.
I feel like
absolutely
Revenant would
not.
be like the most obvious choice to bunk with Rango, and I feel
Okay,
like Rango
Revenant,
wouldn't want to
you're
do
going-
midnight to a bunk.
You're going to your bunk room, and you see that there's a sock on the door.
Ah, fucking hell. Always
See?
in college, I know what this means, and Revenant, like, heel turns and, like, walks away.
Oh boy.
Can all 3 of us bunk in a room? Like, you don't take up a lot of space, Revenant. We could squeeze.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
How about like, so it's like a top and a bottom one?
Yeah.
So then like, we'll just
Top,
put like,
bottom, and Revenant has pulled out a drawer of the chest of drawers and like put a pillow in it.
We could make like a little hammock.
I was about to say,
Hammock's way more
or
comfortable on ships.
I was about to say, or we do a hammock between the 2 floors of like the beds.
Yeah. If you want enough space with Revenant, we totally got you.
I mean,
So
I
we're-
don't want to impose, yeah.
Yeah, but
Nothing to
I don't want you to have to be dealing with the sock situation.
Well, you can
All right,
bunk
as
over
you
there. Just
say
sleep
that,
over there with
you
us.
see Rengal come out in his boxers, go to the crew's kitchen,
Mhm.
and he opens the cold box and grabs a carton of milk and downs it, crushes it on his head, puts it in the trash can, and walks back into his room and takes
Yeah,
the sock
Revenant,
off.
you're not bunking there. You're not. Just
No.
We'll make this work. We'll make this work.
We've gone through worse.
And you see Rolget leave.
Yeah, we should just
Yeah,
close that
that was,
room forever.
Yeah, let's.
That's
Yeah.
something.
Just mark that off your maps. Just put a big red X through. We never
Well,
want to go in
I-
that room.
Is there a chair in this room?
There is a chair. There is a chest of drawers with 6 drawers. There is a bunk. So 2 bunks.
Yeah.
And the rack pans of these bunks lift up so that you have individual storage.
Revenant's just gonna sleep in the chair. He's gonna like sleep because he's small, right? He can like lay within the 2 arms of the chair, right?
Okay.
Like Jimmy
And, like-
Cricket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sleeping in a candle holder.
And you see Ringald like do a little arm pump thing as he sees that you have done this. And like you
Ah,
hear a
Ringald.
whole bunch of and the entire other bunk bed is set outside for a second, and you see him pick up some brackets and put them in, and then bring the bunk bed and screw it inside.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think this was a wise choice.
Agreed.
All right,
Good.
and Candelario comes down, and he's like, "All right, have you 3 made yourselves comfortable?
Yep.
Living situation's good. Got all your things packed?
Yes.
Okay. You're not part of the crew. You're not required to be involved, but we'll be setting off shortly. If you'd like to
Okay.
watch it from the bridge, you are more than welcome to.
Well, how do we see it the best? Like if we're on the bridge, because I've never been in a flying ship before, and I'm very excited. What if I climbed up? Don't you have like one of those big?
The
Things
crows,
you
Okay.
can
Oh,
sign
you
up?
have the big crow's nest, right?
Yeah. Can I climb up there to watch? I think that'd be pretty cool.
We don't really have one of those. You could go on top of the bridge.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
Just you'd want to chain yourself down so that you don't fly off.
Is there like a little thing, like a hook?
There's a little deck hoist thing that has like little places where you can set in like a little L-shaped thing, a little hook that slides down.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Do you guys want to come up on the
what are you
bridge
two
with
doing?
me?
I'll come up with you. I wanna like track our position on the map.
And I think I need to stretch my wings.
Revenant, you'll want a navigation if you're going to do that. It's 1 level below the bridge.
Alright. Hey, you two have fun up on the bridge. I'll go to navigation.
You wanna come see the sights first and then go down?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
be so
sure.
cool. I've never seen a ship fly before. It's gotta be amazing.
Yeah, it might be cool to watch Breastvein go off in the distance.
Yeah.
I'll
Actually, that'd be
raise
really
my
nice.
2 fingers up at Breastvein and whip my dick out as we're leaving.
Could you do that behind me though?
Yeah,
that cool?
well,
All right.
I wasn't gonna do it in front of you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right, and you see Candelario Lampwick, and he's got his captain's hat on now, and he goes up to the bridge, and from there you can hear his voice all over the ship as he speaks into this weird little box that he's holding down a little button on the side, and he's like, "Release dry lock safety interlocks from pier. Confirm on 3. 3, 2, 1." And you hear and these long steel rods, probably about 5 feet in diameter, disconnect from the ship, and you feel the ship take on its own weight using the infernal engine where it floats. Stabilize power output. Lessen power or throughput on my mark. Engineering stand on 3. Open tunnel access hatch, and you hear a beneath you. He's
Contact.
like,
Contact.
engineering, mark. and the ship falls. And he nods, and you are just falling at a steady rate. And you start going through this tunnel that was beneath you, and you fall hundreds of feet. And you can see bits of cavern and whatnot through this tunnel from where you're at. You can see crystals. And then you can see sky again. And above you is a floating landmast. And below you is Caldera.
Please say it, you fucking Calderan son of a bitches.
Here, throw a pine nut at them.
Revenant chucks a pine nut, and then he casts chill touch on the pine nut to like launch it even further.
Nice.
You see the pine nut bounce off a pink shield.
Lame.
How did we
And,
get through the shield? Do we know?
I worry about that, says Candelario.
Okay.
Well, so
Yeah, good
here's
thing
the
we didn't
thing:
get
we
crushed
also
by
have a
that.
teleportation circle that we had installed on the ship,
Oh yeah.
so we could just teleport to Brisbane. It doesn't really matter.
Where did we put the other end?
In the casino.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Basement level. Basement level of the casino. Deck of the ship. Upper deck of the ship right there. And he holds up a medallion around his necklace that is in fact a piece of the teleportation circle. And it takes authentication to get it.
Excellent. Who? Just show of hands. Like, who's here with us today? Like, everyone's with us, or did some people stay behind?
So
All crews on deck.
if I remember correctly, the people that we decided to bring with us were Joey, Hefton, and Rangal.
Hi, I'm Hefton.
Hi, Hefton.
It's so
Hello,
good to see you, Hefton.
And Hefton is at the yoke, like just offset a little bit from Candelario's captain's chair. And Candelario says, left 5-degree rudder, steady course 360. And Hefton says, left 5-degree rudder, steady course 360. You see him turn the yoke around a little bit, and
Is that the wheel?
gets to a 5-degree. Yeah,
Okay.
well, not a wheel exactly.
Like a different.
A
like
yoke is what you have when you also want to control depth, or rather height in this case.
like a plane
Like a plane.
or like a submarine.
I'm not saying it's like a submarine because I don't want to go to Fort Leavenworth.
Just kidding.
I wish I was joking about that. Wikipedia is allowed to tell you more about submarines than I am.
So, Zermus is kind of just like looking around. He's like, I've never seen anything like this.
You're probably not going to. This is rare. Exceedingly so.
It's amazing.
Well, we're about, I'd say, 3 days from Fort Lubri.
Wow.
Y'all would make yourselves comfortable, make time pass. If you want to do work around the ship, you'll have to qualify a watch station, but you don't have to. No one expects you to.
Is there a way now that we're out of Brassbane to send a message ahead just to let my family know that we're coming? Or we're just gonna surprise them? Yay! Surprise guests. Always the best.
I am not a god. I do not know how to make that happen.
I mean, I was thinking magician rather than a god, but you know, cool.
Ask.
Let
us ask Mortier.
Or do you? I mean, you're a druid, and do you have like any bird friends, Zermos, that would take a letter for me? A little faster.
Zermos, hypothetically, you could enter the cross circle and ask someone to send along a message if you could get a hold of somebody from that area.
What he just said.
Cool. Well, would you be willing to do that? I mean, we don't have to. Just, sometimes it's better if people have some opportunity to prepare.
We have several days here.
Well,
I can take some time for you.
Thank you.
Also, I could try to, message Mortier, and then he could, send out a message for us. He taught me this thing where I'll put, my fingers up to my temples, and I'll try not to think about my ex and I having sex.
What does that have to do with sending messages?
I don't know, it just somehow sends a message to Mortier.
They have a brain connection, but unfortunately it is a two-way street.
Huh.
And
And Revenant thinks of Mortier, and then, thinks very clearly of, a message. It's like, hey, does this actually work?
Wisdom. That feels like a wisdom thing.
roll
that
dex,
wise?
roll nature for your telepathic message. Animal handling.
Why is Roll20 being slow?
You guys like this windswept music?
Mhm.
Flying now,
it's
baby.
13.
I feel like I'm flying.
Yeah, you make it. You get it. You hear go. Revenant? Oh, nicely done.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure in case. So, Ruin is wondering if we can send a message to Fort Delubri ahead of time, right?
That might be more difficult to do on my end. I think Trenchelt is getting suspicious of my contact to the outside world.
All right. Thanks for
Do
letting me
you
know.
have any options on your end?
Can any god get a message out of Breastfane?
No. I
Then,
can do it because I have incredible connections with the outside world and stuff like that. But again, doing it too many times does paint a target on, people I will not name because I do not wish for any communications between us to be intercepted.
Huh. Well, Zoomers can enter the cross circle, right? But also...
Okay, in the future, just say Zermos has options for communication.
Okay.
They're always listening. Assume that.
Wait, isn't this a direct communication in Revenant's brain?
It's 1984, man.
Hey, Magix is out there, yo.
Magic is out there. Mon ami, hypothetically, if somebody were scrying on you specifically, they would be able to hear this.
You should always say things you don't mean, just to screw it. You'd be like,
Yeah.
I want a message to go to Fort Delubri and to Greenland.
I can't hear
and
Ruin,
to...
but did you say something silly? I bet you said something silly.
Never say anything silly.
This is all in Revenant's head, by the way.
That's right. I'm
Um,
pretending I'm wrong.
I don't know, maybe we have options,
See if Zarmos can't get the message out, and if he cannot, I will make the risk.
yeah, either that or, to be honest, Scraps is pretty trained. I don't know if he knows where places are, though.
Would you just drop him to the ground?
No,
Splat.
we can go down to the ground very quickly and go back up to the sky if we desperately need to get a message out, right?
I don't know how that would help you get a message to the place you are going.
Scraps is very trained and he's very fast.
Faster than your current mode of transportation?
Yeah, he's a fucking weird rat. He's a fucking weird rat.
It's fucking weird, man.
Oh, he goes at the
He
speed
also
of
never
thought.
he also never tires. So whereas the ship needs to stop and rest, right?
The next
Like
place the
this-
ship is stopping and resting is Fort Lubri.
Okay, but at the same time, I'm just saying, Scraps like never rests. It's fucking scary. He watches me in my sleep. I've woken up to him just staring into my eyes.
Okay, let me know if you can't get a message out through Zarmos. Click beep. And Revenant,
This
you can
entire
tell-
time, Revenant's just been like,
Revenant, you can tell it's him thinking beep.
Funny. That's funny.
Well, I mean, we don't have to. I just think it'd be nice.
What is your
If we did.
message, Big Red?
Just coming with guests, and we need to talk to Grandma.
Is
Ruin.
it- do you know any druids in the area?
Ruin, your grandmother is a druid.
Yeah, I was gonna say technically my grandma's a druid, so
Cool beans.
Zarmos, if you have her name, you will have advantage on finding her.
What's her name again?
I forget.
You get to decide what her name is right now because it hasn't
I
been
do?
mentioned before. Yes.
Oh
Yes, I do. Her name is
no,
Firespell.
I get to. I get to decide her name.
Her name is
All
Sad
right,
Trombone
good.
Delubri.
It's Shayla.
Shayla?
It's guys Gaelic for Willow, and I'm spelling it for you so you know that's it right there.
Did
Fake
you put that in the
news.
private chat?
It doesn't look like it at all because Gaelic and the way it sounds and the way it's
No,
spelled.
have you seen the way Shivon is spelled? It's weird.
Yeah. Her name is Shayla.
Shayla.
Dulibre, like me.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna go get very chill, and I will be right back. So just tell her that you're coming.
And then bringing guests, friends, but guests, so she knows to prepare a place for everybody. And
Roger
a
that.
proper welcome.
Cool.
It'll be the best feast you've had ever because, man, like, when you bring guests and friends, it's a good thing.
Hmm.
Oh, and you'll get some of the LPA that we make. I know you love that so much.
Okay, so the Lubrian Pale Ale is an ale for export. You just have a Lubrian ale for drinking locally.
Well, yeah, but I was trying to trick
It's
him.
become
It's
so
fine.
It's
Oh,
become
oh,
so
okay.
popular
I
now.
wanted
now.
him to think that he was gonna have to
Yes.
politely drink LPA in front of the people that make it, and I was just hoping that he'd feel a little uncomfortable.
Oh, so like
But in a
maybe that's the
fun
thing
way.
at Lubri, at Fort Lubri, where you just get people to.
Just
That's
Yeah.
funny. I like that.
Trap me into drinking.
You
this.
convince people to drink bad beer for the sake of it.
But if you think about the
When we
history
pretend we
of
think
it-
it's really good, and then we bring out the good stuff, because obviously you don't want to be mean, you just want to be funny.
or both.
Okay, Zarmos, what are you doing?
Zarmos is gonna go go chill somewhere. He'll probably just go back to the room. Put a pine nut on the door knob, and we'll go to the cross circle. So he sits crisscross applesauce, spear across his lap, and he slows his breathing down, starts to become very aware of all the sounds around him until the only thing he can hear is his own breath, and then he hears nothing.
All right. So you call out, and do you remember her name?
Oh, the granny?
Ye?
Yeah, Shayla.
You call out to Shayla de Lubri. And you hear a voice call in turn. Who is this?
Hail and well met. My name is Zermos. I'm a friend of your granddaughter.
And you see a woman just mist into the cross circle. She is shorter than Ruin, and her hair has gone gray. She's stout, and she leans on a staff atop and lashed with a horse's head. Hello, Zermos. What can I do for you?
Well, the Lady Ruin wanted me to send you a message that we would.
The lady now.
Well, I'm a man of aristocracy, and my language is hard to shake.
No. I am touched to know she is making such friends.
She wanted us to alert you of our imminent arrival.
Good. She sent a letter a while back. What can you tell me of Brassvein?
A great deal. Did you have any questions in particular?
Tell me everything. And I think we're going to skip around to other people. Ruin, what are you doing?
Back on the ship.
Chilling on the boat, playing with my stake and my hammer.
So every so
Talking to people.
often, as you're walking about the ship and calling it a boat, Candelario gets huffy with you. It's like, it's a ship.
Got it. I love this ship boat. Hey, can I pull out more than one stake at a time? Like, if I keep doing it, can I get enough to like juggle, or is it only one at a time?
Yes, you can.
Ha! I'm totally gonna practice juggling stakes.
Nice.
I think it'll be fun. Oh, and can
Roll
I
acrobatics.
Okay, I want to throw one too and see if they like stick into wood or anything like that. Like, what's their?
Our
I'll
nice
look
new
for
ship.
first.
Our nice new ship, and everyone's just throwing stakes through the drywall.
I got a 14. No, I'm throwing them at the actually everything.
Just stakes everywhere. Just have all these holes.
Well, I retrieved them.
Hefton sees that you're doing this and sets up some targets for you.
He's still the best. Thanks, Hefton.
No problem, Ruin.
All right, I just want to, see what I can do. That's it.
Okay, look
That's what
me
I'm doing.
up real quick. Throwing knives on 5e.
Okay. I shall do this.
I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, they do 1d4 piercing damage.
Mhm.
They're finesse, they're light, they're thrown. 4120.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can throw 3 of them at once.
Excellent.
Damn.
I have a question. If they're not with me and I do the closing motion, do they go back away?
Why don't you test that?
All right, I'm gonna do it. I throw one at the target and then I do this. Does it? Is he frozen?
Yes.
Damn it.
You do that. You almost feel your arm burning when you do that. It does 1 damage to you to do it, but you get the dot back on your forearm.
Yes! Oh my gosh, it's awesome!
You get the feeling the level of damage it does would be based on how far you are away from it.
That's pretty cool. So basically, if I'm really far away, it might hurt to get it back.
Yeah.
I better not drop any off the ship boat.
To answer a question real quick, Hefton does not go anywhere without his training dummies, which are basically just robot shells like him, but bound in straw. Like the broken robots in the basement that weren't working.
Gotcha. Hefton's always prepared. I like this about him.
Mm-hmm.
Hefton is a strange fellow.
I like
Revenant,
that too.
What are you doing?
I'm talking to Joey.
Joey
can I have
is
Candelario with me for this discussion.
You can take place on the bridge. Candelario can be on watch as the officer of the deck. Joey is manning the helm.
Okay. So, Joey, you said you need to get out of Brisbane. Do you want to get out, like, permanently, or just, like, for the duration of this?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't think permanently was an option. What'd you have in mind?
Well, since we're already dropping off Caulfield and Stonehelm on the way back, we might be able to drop you off with Caulfield at Gore Courthouse.
You mean Coughlin?
Coughlin. I'm sorry.
And Coughlin from the navigation deck kind of huffs a little bit.
I'm sorry. I don't think we've ever had any interaction.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just sensitive right now.
I didn't even see you there, to be honest.
It's fine.
It's not helping. It's like you're not even there.
So Coughlin and you could stay at my friend's house in Stonehelm, and yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that the next target of that Gelfos character? The actuary.
Yeah, but like, we'll give you enough money for you to be able to set up practically anywhere.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't get taken up. You know, I mean, I guess I could lie about my name at that point and claim I'm somebody else. But, you know, they'd still treat me like a dirt eater, you know?
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Employment opportunities aren't great. I mean, I know you lucked into a benefactor.
Well, I mean, we could
Sugar
just
daddy?
rehire you. We
I
could
was
just
never
rehire
exactly-
you under your new name when you get brought back up. If you get brought back up,
Yeah.
just come to us.
So, what exactly is your deal with Monsieur Mortier? Is he like a sugar daddy, or?
He's a boon daddy.
Nice work, Bone Daddy.
I don't know what came over me there. I don't know. That wasn't even my accent. That was very bizarre. That was very strange.
Yeah.
It's almost like something possessed me to say that.
So, roll charisma.
It's a 12.
You now have forged the bedrock of a relationship with Joey. Friendship.
Oh, hell yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
He ends up actually teaching you how to use the helm. And Candelario qualifies you as a watchstander for the helm if you're ever interested in taking position there.
Or if something happens to the pilot.
Helmsman. Helmsperson.
Boat.
Helmet.
Helmet.
Yes.
Helmet.
Helmet. The helmet. That's exactly what they're called.
Helmans.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Ruin, you also roll charisma, actually.
Oh boy. She's so charismatic. No. We've got an 8. An 8. Excuse me. Let me speak properly.
You get the
Eight.
feeling that you hurt Hefton's feelings a little bit with an aside remark that you didn't mean to hurt his feelings with. But
Which
he's
one?
still okay with you. You're not sure.
I'm sorry. Have to have a big mouth foot problem. I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's just, you know, I never knew my mom.
That's fair. But
I mean,
I'm really
I got
sorry.
all these paintings that she made, you know?
Hmm. Can I see him?
No, I don't have them with me.
Oh.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
That was a setup.
Well, I just, I
Coughlin talks about her a lot.
I'm
I
I'm
kind of
sorry,
get the
babe.
feeling she resents having to look after me as much as she did.
That's not good.
Like, I don't think she hates me. I don't think it was fair for her to have to do that.
You know, she might have minded. Like when you have a kid, you kind of that's what you sign up for. So she
Yeah,
might.
but she didn't have me. Like, Coughlin's my older sister, you know, she shouldn't have had to put up with that.
Well,
And I don't know, it's family's weird, and I don't like that. But I
family
like
can be.
them. I'm sorry, I got a lot to think about now. And he walks off.
Let's keep practicing with the stakes.
Yeah, you're fine.
That seems like my best option here.
Zermos will cut back to you. So, the way you tell me this says, how's that pronounced again, Rowan?
Shayla?
Shayla de Lubri says, the way I look at this, Fort Lubri needs to plan for a war. Though what shape that war will take, we do not know. We can fight with spears and swords, but fighting with coins seems strange.
It might be the new battlefield.
What about them? Are they well defended? Do they have an army?
From what I understand, the city's guard is quite formidable, and they have many, many high-level enchantresses and sorcerers and the like, dotted throughout the city in various political and business concerns.
Real quick thing, the Royal Guard is what Zermos is thinking of. The City Guard is under Captain Brute.
Right. The City Guard, we screw around with them, but we don't want to mess with the Royal Guard. Not yet.
Yeah. We'll make preparations. What is Ruin hoping to get out of this?
I don't take your meaning.
Of coming home, what is she hoping to get? What can we give her?
Don't we need, some, tablet translating materials?
No. We need a place to store the ship.
Well, and she wants to use her Samhain candle to talk to her grandpa about the founding of Brassbane and the child's creation.
So she wants to talk to her great-great-grandfather, and she wants her grandmother to use her magic to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
There are many reasons to come home, but I think talking to someone from the distant past is on the slate for this visit.
She wishes to speak to the dead.
It's important for understanding the formation of Brassbane.
Sarwyn comes. The candles are ready. The purest white tallow, made from our deceased, is available. We can do this. What about you? Is there any among the dead you wish to speak to?
Not now. Perhaps you can convince me, or my mind will be persuaded when I return.
No, I do not mean now. I mean in 3 days' time when you are here. We will have enough candles for everyone who wishes to speak to a singular dead person. It is a tradition here, every Samhain.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's really my thing. I'll keep it in mind. I have 3 days to think on it.
And how large is your crew?
What was it, 12 of us?
30.
Wait. How do I know this is her? Do I know this is her?
Roll insight.
Asking a lot of detailed information. I think my insight is +4. Just double check because you guys always say I'm cheating. My insight is +38. Nice.
It's like my armor class.
AC 45. So that's a 17.
Zarmos, you smell sulfur.
Well, let me tell you this. As far as our numbers are concerned, there's at least 200 to 300 on this trip and 5 or 6 trips planned after it, but I'm not sure where they are and the logistics of it. Where are you now so that we can meet up with you?
She looks around, and you see that when her eyes flicker away and back, it's like there's a pair of eyes behind them that glow black, and you just barely make them out. Almost like there's a poor bit of rendering going on top of something that already exists. I am home.
And where is that exactly?
Well, I don't have a map on me right now. Hold on, let me go get it.
Which room are you in?
The West Room.
All right. Well, I think I'm out of time for today. But maybe I'll call. Maybe I'll reach out to you tomorrow.
Hold on, you have something on your shoulder. Zarmos. This is not Ruin's grandmother. And it's reaching for your shoulder. And you can see that its fingers are formed slightly into claws.
He's gonna dip out of the cross circle. Just miss that. She is. And I'm out.
Damn it! You hear as you disappear.
Ruin Revenant.
Yeah.
He's running around the decks
Yeah.
trying to gather everybody.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Grim news. I entered the cross circle to speak to Ruin's grandmother. That was not her, and that there was some imposter. I lied about our numbers, but I fear that the fort might already be taken.
We have to get there fast then.
Zarmos, roll insight.
17.
Your communications were intercepted by a devil.
Oh. Never mind. It would appear that... Well, what does that mean then? I don't know what that means. Like, what is that? I don't know how to roleplay that.
It means that a devil was trying to get information from you.
Oh, so I never talked to her.
You never talked to Rowan's grandmother.
Well, this is odd. I've
Yes.
never had demons inside the cross circle like this.
And Candelaria looks at you and goes, well, to be fair, you did kill a servant of the Lord of Hell.
But his
Yes.
father, like, that's different.
Who was a servant of a Lord of Hell.
He's the one with the
Yeah, but he
contract.
was his son. It's like, you know.
He killed a servant of a Lord of Hell.
Okay, I'm hearing that that's a bad thing.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I am saying the Lord of Hell would be pissed.
Which is a bad thing. I just got to the conclusion before, like, I just jumped right there.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure why you're hung up on this. I'm not sure
I don't
what
know.
part
Either
you're
way.
hung up on.
Either way, I do not fear
I'm worried
demons.
about my grandmother.
I do not fear demons or devils. Ruin, let me try again tomorrow. Perhaps,
Okay.
perhaps they won't be able to intercept this. I'll do it in the dead of night.
You could try again right now, and it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't have a negative effect.
Well, you know what? Let me. Perhaps I'll keep you guys nearby.
I could ask her questions if I come with you that only she would be able to answer.
Zermo, she can come with you if she has her hand on your shoulder, sort of piggybacking like Captain Brute did with Coughlin.
Revenant, would you like to attend?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'll take your hand or something.
We could have like.
Don't you have a bad track record of meeting old ladies who don't know you?
Yeah, I'll take off my mask.
No, Granny will
And
be
you-
fine. You'll be just
Okay,
you.
okay.
She'll accept you. Very well.
So we go back down to the room and I tell everybody how to sit and we do the breathing thing.
You're all on the floor in a circle together.
Mm-hmm. We look like the Ninja Turtles trying to hail Splinter.
Yes. Yes, my sons. Okay.
My master
uh,
Yoshi.
Roll with advantage, Zarmos.
Is this a skill
I
check?
got a 12 and a 9. I don't know what I'm
It's
rolling though.
wisdom check.
Wisdom.
Can I cast guidance on him?
Yes.
I'm gonna cast guidance on him. You get a D4.
To add to your roll.
So
for
that's
wisdom.
16. That's a 20 then.
Zarmos, you are filled with certainty that you have successfully reached out to Granny Lubri. And you see a woman go, oh, what fucking time? What time is it? It's like 11 o'clock. Who's calling?
Be gentle, Ruin.
Grandma,
She
it's
won't
me.
expect you here.
Ruin?
Yes, meet my friend Zermos. He'll tell you everything else.
How do I know you're my granddaughter?
Oh, remember when I was 7 and I let that cat into the larder? And then the next day, Mom went in to get the butter for breakfast and it was full of cat hair.
I also remember you blamed that on your sister.
Well, yes, but I figured you knew the truth.
I did.
See? That's how you know it's me. Who else would know I lied about
Okay.
that when I was 7?
There have been interruptions in the cross circle as of late. It's not safe for communication.
No, that's
in
why
many
I'm
ways.
here. See, Zermos, no one else would have known I blamed my sister for it, so it was definitely my grandma.
Well, the important thing is that you're telling the truth now.
Thanks,
And she
Grandma.
laughs.
Miss-
Zermos and Revenant, my other friend, have been a great influence on me. You're gonna like them so much.
Ruin will never tell you the truth when it doesn't matter. But when it matters, she always will.
Yes.
With these interruptions and perturbations in the cross circle, we should probably end this rather quickly. We will be arriving at your home soon. We just wanted to warn you of our imminent arrival.
How long do we have to prepare? How many do we have to prepare for? Do you have your own supplies?
We got 30 people. We got some supplies, but yeah, like we just need somewhere to store the ship for like a day, just so it can charge up.
Mhm.
And
Ruin, who was this one again?
This is Revenant. You're
hi.
gonna love him.
Some people think I'm the spirit of death, but I'm not.
No, you're just dead, aren't you?
Oh wow, you're very perceptive. I didn't even know that until like very recently.
I am. Well, I am glad you did not find out from me then.
Yeah, that would have been embarrassing for the both of us.
Very awkward.
I like your horse head, Steph.
Thank you. I like your mask.
Thanks. I made it myself.
I have a spear. Nothing.
It's a very nice spear.
Thank you.
Aren't his antlers amazing?
Right.
I was trying to convince him to let me decorate them.
I
Maybe
have
just-
some polish that will be perfect for that spear. I will give you some when you get back. It's beeswax and boiled linseed oil. You'll absolutely love it.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're in good health.
And of
When-
course, a little bit of sheep wax. You need that.
Always. We're just glad that you are in good health and we will be arriving shortly. The last person just seemed to try to pump me for information.
Last person.
Yes, someone intercepted the transmission, pretending to be you.
The devils are at it then, aren't they?
Again.
We maybe told them that I wanted to do the Samhain ritual to see Great Grandpappy Osian. So
Hopefully
if you
they
wanna-
don't know what that means and they won't be able to use it.
That's my hope too.
It is difficult to tell when the devils have information already.
Yeah. We're coming in Great Grandpappy's ship, so you get to see it.
Really?
Mhm.
The Jumping Jill's real.
Yep.
It would be so.
I thought he made it up to entertain me.
I
Did he
thought he made
ever
him up to entertain us too.
Did he ever explain the shark head figure at the front of a ship?
No. I didn't ask a lot of questions because I thought he was making it up. I thought it was a. I will make preparations, though.
Thank you, Granny. We'll want to
Oh.
hide the ship, so
Oh,
we'll just, help with that.
and your cousin's with child. There's going to be a baby shower. You're not expected to be there, but if you could just send a nice letter, that would be good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If it happens
Oh.
while we're home, of course we'll come. I bet
and your
Remnant
brother
and Zermos would love to come to a baby shower.
and your brother is making a batch of pickled eggs. I'll be sure to send you some. And she starts naming off things and people and stuff they're doing. And it takes so much longer than it should.
All right. Well, I'm running. Oh, we're going through a tunnel. We're flying
Thank
through
you,
a thicket
Granny.
of Cyclops arms. We'll have to turn it. Oh, you're breaking up. Everyone, stop backing up. Just back out of the circle.
And y'all leave the circle.
Bye, Granny. We'll see you in a few days.
Okay. And I think we'll leave it there.